Hey Woke Fam, it's Kira. I am on spring break and my mom, Kay, is at work right now, but we still have some garden prep to do in the meantime. So we are wanting to plant out some of our cool season crops like the collards, mustard green, Swiss chard, etc. But we need to prep our garden bed first. We have an 8x4 garden bed that we planted our cool season crops in before last year and the year before that, and we need to prep it. So we have a lot of leaves here that we use to mulch over the winter, and we need to crush these up a little bit. We're going to put some blood meal for nitrogen and bone meal for phosphorus into our garden bed, and then I have some sticks for labels as well as twine to wrap around our sticks. I'll just say for now, sticks that we put into the ground so that we can create our layout for our square foot gardening. We did square foot gardening, I think every season that we've planted, which has been, we've only planted in the spring, summer seasons since 2022. And we've enjoyed square foot gardening because it gives us a lot of a more abundant harvest that we found, get a lot more crops from that, a lot of bang for our buck. So we're doing that again, and it saves a lot of space as well. We can put a lot more things into our garden bed pretty much using all the space that we can to get as much as we want. So we're doing that again, and I'll show you how we do it. As you can probably see, we have a bunch of leaves in this garden bed. Why do we have a bunch of dried, crusty, old leaves in this garden bed? That's a great question. You probably didn't ask it. However, I'm going to answer it anyway. Leaves are a great and inexpensive, dare I say free, way of mulching your garden beds. Just like other mulches and compost, leaves also insulate the soil and improve the moisture retention. However, unlike many other mulches and composts, leaves are of a lighter weight, meaning that it can prevent the soil from compacting over time. And in case you didn't catch it the first time, they are free. Free, free. Therefore, unless you are in an area where there are absolutely no trees at all, I don't know what area that would be, but go outside and get you some leaves, put those bad boys in your garden bed, crush them up like some seasoning, and let them do their thing for your garden. With that being said, I crushed up all those leaves into smaller pieces, and with the smaller surface area, the leaves should be able to decompose at a faster rate over time. There's a worm that I found. It's going to be right there in that garden bed alongside those seedlings I'm going to plant. Worms are also great to have in your garden bed, but we'll save that for a later date. At this point, I'm putting in some compost into the garden bed to refresh the soil a little bit. And I'm going to put them, I think I put 2 bags on each side of the 4x8 garden bed. And then I mixed it in really good and put some bone meal and blood meal for fertilization. So what's so great about blood and bone meal? And firstly, what are they? Great questions. Well, blood meal is made from dried animal blood sourced from slaughterhouses. It's a water-soluble fertilizer that efficiently increases the nitrogen levels in the soil, which in turn effectively improves soil health, raises acidity levels, increases plant growth and reproduction during photosynthesis, and as a bonus, the smell can deter pests such as deer, rabbits, and moles. On the other hand, bone meal is made from dried animal bones that have been ground into a fine or coarse powder. The essential nutrients that make bone meal such a prize to have in the garden are phosphorus and calcium. Phosphorus plays a vital role in photosynthesis, cell division, and growth, and calcium is a constituent of cell walls, helping to maintain the plant's structure. So, organic blood and bone meal are excellent fertilizers to have in your garden to aid in the overall health of your plants over time. Look how rich. This looks very, very rich. High quality, premium. Look at this, y'all. What do y'all think this is? If you said garlic, you would be correct. Ding, ding, ding. You won the prize. Mother Dearest put garlic cloves anywhere she wanted to put them. They were not supposed to be in this bed originally. Up here were going to be some leafy greens, and the years before was like arugula right here. She put it anywhere she wanted to in the garden this year. If I knew she was going to do that, I would have asked her to reevaluate the situation quick, fast, and in a hurry. But obviously they're already planted, so I can't do much about that. But we came together and had some collaborative efforts. We made some minor adjustments for this area, this impromptu planting right here. And we have a different outline, slightly different outline of what we're gonna put in the garden bed this time around. Everything's working out good, it's gonna be fine. But they weren't supposed to be here originally. And you can see in this area, in this line, there were some garlic that were planted when she planted them out. Unfortunately, they did not come up, and it doesn't seem like they would come up anytime soon, as it is well over the winter. We're going into spring right now. But even though it's pretty bald, little bald, pretty scarce right there, it's gonna be okay. We have plenty of garlic, you know, where she put that garlic, we'll show y'all eventually. She has multiple garlic plants all around in some garden beds, and they're growing beautifully. Garlic in the past, when we've grown it, has done excellent. Each head grows multiple cloves, and we have plenty of them out here, so everything's gonna be good. So let me finish this. I have to crush up these leaves and put the compost around it, but I'll show y'all later. Here are our stakes. I called them sticks earlier, but they're stakes, and we have them about a foot apart. I tie them any way I can. I don't know any special knots or anything, so I take some twine, I wrap it around several times, then this loop that I formed here, I put it through the twine, through the hole, and tighten it, tie it a few more times, forming that loop, put it through, oh, well that didn't go through, but I put it through the hole like that, tighten it, maybe do it one more just for safekeeping, just to be sure, put it through, tighten, and that's it. Then I bring it around, bring it up, throw, and do the same on the other side. Okay, I know y'all saw that throw. So it got to the other side, it made it, it did make it. So I take it and I want to pull it taut, not super tight to where it pulls in the stakes like that. I don't want it super tight or anything, but I do pull them taut so that they are in place when there's wind. It's very windy where we live, so I want to make sure that it's pulled tightly. Don't want them loose like this either, so they can move all around. Pull them nice and taut. I bring it down to this other stake, which is in alignment with the stake on the other side, and I cut just enough to where I have enough to tie around the stake several times. So, cutting it. ASMR action, but when I cut it, I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm almost done putting down the twine for the outline for square foot gardening in this garden bed. And I wanted to show you that how you can ensure that you're tightening your twine or whatever strings you're using for your square foot gardening outline. This is tied on both sides for both stakes, but it's still a little loose. So what I do is I make sure that the stake is out just enough for, if I need to push it in some more to tighten it, I can do that. I usually step on it because my legs are stronger than my arms right now. So I push it in a little bit. It needs to be pushed in a little bit more. And now it's tightened. Not super tight, but tight enough that it won't waver in the wind. So I'm almost done, and I'll show you when it's done. Ooh. Look how pretty that is. Square foot gardening. So it's an 8x4 bed, so we have 32 squares here. Let's get to planting. Here's our celery. We have 3 different varieties: Tall Utah, Pink Plume, and Pascal. We have plenty more than we've planned the space for. We're going to put 4 celery in each of our 3 square feet that we've set aside for celery, and 4 is the recommended maximum amount of celery to put in a square foot. So we're gonna maximize our space and put 4 celery in each of them. And I'm gonna pick the best ones of the many that we have here. So I'm gonna start with the Pink Plume. This one right here looks really good. It has lots of branching, lots of stems already, and it's fairly healthy. It looks very healthy to me. It's a little tangled in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and plop this one out of its cell. I'm going to gently pick it up. And voila, look at its root system. Very nice, it's very healthy. And I'm going to put this in the ground. Here's a section for our Pink Plume. This is a square for our Pink Plume celery. We're putting 4 in each. So I'm gonna I like to make the outline of where I'm gonna put in each plant before I actually plant them in there, just to make sure I have enough space, equal amount of space for each. So I think that's pretty good for the spacing. There's 4 holes, and it's about 2 inches deep, but I may make it a little deeper depending on how much each plant needs. So I'm gonna put this in here. I think that's maybe a little bit deeper. I'm gonna put it on this side. And you don't want to cover the crown of the plant. Celery to me is kind of like strawberries, where it has like a crown at the end. You don't want to completely cover this crown. You don't want to put the soil all the way up here or anything. You want to make sure, because this is where the new stems are growing from. So you want to make sure that it's a little level, if not just a little bit of soil covering it, but primarily make it level with the seedling, crown of the seedling. There we are. Should be good to go, and I'm gonna get the rest of them done. When we make our holes to mark the spots of where our seedlings are going, we like to add a little bit more of the blood meal and bone meal into the hole, just to give our plants a little boost once they start maturing. So that's what I've done here. put some, see they're pellets, but over time it will break down and the plants will still absorb the nutrients. Or you can crush them up a little bit more so that it's more of a fine powder that the plants can more easily absorb early on. But regardless, we put these in the holes, and here's our tall Utah celery right here, looking spiffy, and I'm put it right there. The celery that we have, see, it has a great, very healthy root system. It's not root bound, but if it were to be root bound, or if it was a little stiff, then it's good to gently manipulate the roots a little bit. Maybe rub the bottom, rub the sides a little, just to loosen up the roots if they are tightly entangled together. And they can spread in deeper into the soil easier. The main purpose of roots, not the purpose, but roots like to spread out far in search for water and nutrients. So you want to make sure that your roots have an easier chance to do what it's meant to do its function. Can't do that if it's all bunched up together and root bound. So to prevent your seedlings from being root bound, you want to plant them out at a good time, at a proper time. Plant them out earlier, but if they do get root bound, ours has gotten root bound before, definitely has gotten root bound before. Just gently tease them. That's it, gently tease them, nothing too harsh, and you should be good to go. I'm finishing out this celery, and then I'll finish out the rest of our plants that we're planting today. Alrighty, y'all, this is the day after transplanting our seedlings around 12:38 p.m. that afternoon, and some of our seedlings looked a little passed out, if you will. Some of them looked like they were on their last leaf. Okay, the Sicilian arugula right there, very exhausted. It had a long day, a long night, didn't get enough rest, and they just, yeah, you see it basically. But this is the reality, y'all. If you neglect to water your seedlings in, like I did, watering is important after you're transplanting your seedlings because it helps get the plant established in the soil and can prevent some of the transplant shock that some seedlings may experience after you put them in the ground. So don't be like us at that point in time. It can also happen if it's a very hot day and your plants don't have enough hydration, enough moisture, enough water that's being absorbed through their root system. But again, y'all, most of the seedlings looked fine. The arugula, yeah, I'll forget about them, but the rest of them looked pretty good. Some of the Swiss chard right there, a little passed out as well. But Swiss chard we weren't too concerned about it because Swiss chard for us has been very, very hardy through the hot and the cold. So they were fine for us. And again, y'all, this was filmed several months ago. So at this point in time, all of our seedlings look amazing. They're thriving, they look great, and we will be sure to give some garden updates very soon, so stay tuned for that. Garden updates, harvests, more educational videos, inspiration. Real versatile, y'all. So stay tuned and be on the lookout. Thanks for watching. Plant to live and keep growing, y'all. Hey, woke fam. Whoa! No, hold on now. These wasps. A little too happy. Okay, anyway, to transplant some of our cool weather crops such as collard greens, mustard greens. Oh, look at the blue jay. Oh my gosh. I can't. Well, anyway, so and I cut just enough to where I have enough to tie around the stake several times. So, cutting it. ASMR action. But when I cut it,